Alright, this just might be the last Fender Stratocaster I buy for a very long time. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, folks. This is Shane. If you already subscribed, you'll know exactly what this is, but for those who are just watching this video, this is an American Original 50s Strat. Now, I've been gassing for one of these since they first came out. I actually had a chance to borrow one from the shop, review it, and I fell in love with it. I remember saying on the video, man, I could just buy this, but it was at a stage where I was borrowing a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff was great, but this really stood out to me. I later went back to buy it, and it was sold. So a little bit of the backstory. Another one was ordered, and that was sold as well. I think one of the new staff guys sold it without knowing it was on hold. So I waited a further 8 months for this, and here it is. So I got a chance to play this for the first time and be the first one to play it when I got it and actually purchased this from the shop here at Sky Music. So yeah, big thanks to the guys for getting this in for me. I was under no obligation to buy it if it wasn't right, but out of all the Strats I've played, custom shop, American standards, you know, player series, all the ones I've owned, the Mexican standard Strats, the deluxe Strats, all that kind of stuff, this is by far the best one I've ever played. I love the look of it first and foremost. It really caught my eye. I'm not used to a guitar with this sort of color and finish, and I've put this on too, which I think looks pretty cool, but if you don't like it, you can just take it off, right? So you don't really need that. I just put that on for the video. But this is a really beautiful instrument. It has a lot of stuff on it that will appeal to people who like the 50s style guitars, and a few things that make it different. So let's take a look. So this particular instrument is made with an ash body, whereas the other colors that you'll find are an older body. So that's an interesting fact. We've got 3 pure vintage 59 single coil Strat pickups. And I gotta tell you, one of the things that really stood out with this guitar over just about any other Strat I've played is every pickup position is usable. Even the dreaded neck and middle, which can sometimes sound a little bit too rolled out on the high end. I recently tried a custom shop Fiesta Red guitar. Beautiful instrument. It sounded great in every position, in my opinion, except for these 2 pickups. This one has a little bit more snap on the note, which I love. And even on the bridge pickup, you're getting a full round bottom end when you ping the string like that. When you get under it and snap it, you're still getting a lot of low end, but it has that steely overtone that some Strats just don't have. So I'm a huge fan of these pickups. Now, back when I first started playing, there wasn't as many options for a lefty as there are right now, or I would have bought a fatter neck Stratocaster a long time ago. The only options with fat necks were custom shop guitars, which were twice the price that this is worth. Now, this is a soft V-neck, so it's quite chunky, but it's not as chunky as the U-shaped neck on my Tele from the same series. Now, this is a beautiful piece of maple for the fretboard. or for the fingerboard, and also for the neck. It's just a one piece, as you can see. So it just really looks stunning. We get the vintage tuners as well. These are by far my favorite tuners, just for simplicity and ease of use for changing. I actually really like locking tuners as well, just because they're so reliable, but this is my sort of equal favorite. These are just nice and simple. There's the back of the headstock there. Notice it doesn't say Fender or any sort of serial number or anything on the headstock. We actually get it on the plate on the back, which is right here. For those who are into specs, we get a 9.5 inch fretboard radius. We also get vintage tall frets. Thank God these are tall frets, or I wouldn't have bought it. So they're kind of like a 6105, so they're thin and they're tall. They're maybe not exactly the same as that, but thankfully they're not those micro frets that you used to get a while back that you'd wear out within a few weeks. One of the cool things about this instrument as well is we get vintage correct hardware. So we get an old school tremolo system, and believe it or not, this hole is kind of offset on an angle. So when you put the tremolo arm on, if you want to close the case, you can face it down this way, close the lid, and you don't have to keep taking it on and off. Now you might also notice that the tremolo has been locked down. Now I've added an extra spring, or Alex did at Sky Music for me, to put that, keep it flush, and so I could double stop without it moving it at all. But if I want to use the tremolo arm, it's nice and simple, and I can pop it in and use it with no problems. We get a single ply pick guard as well, which, you know what, I thought looked a bit odd the first time I saw it, and the second time I saw it I went, man, this looks super cool. A lot of people are saying put a black pick guard on here and it should pop and look really great, but I actually really like the way this looks. It's just something very different. I think it's quite eye-catching, to be honest. I think it's one of the nicest looking guitars I've ever owned personally and ever seen in terms of a Strat. It's all subjective stuff, but in terms of what I've been able to find as a lefty, this is absolutely beautiful. I just love the way the neck feels in the hand. You can get over and play with your thumb nice and easily if you so choose. It's just a really great guitar. One of the reasons I believe this will be a long-term guitar for me is just the fact it ticks so many boxes for what I look for in a guitar. I love the neck shape, the way it feels, the way it sounds. Everything about this is just super cool, and it looks a little bit different and unique as well, which is a hard thing to do when you buy a Strat. Most Strats look fairly similar. There's obviously a million different colors, but they're all kind of similar. I really feel like this one is just a little bit different, especially with this sort of this color scheme they got going on. It is just that little bit different. So yeah, I'm hoping and praying this thing will be around for a very long time. I have no plans to buy another Fender Stratocaster unless I get a really great deal on something that I really love, but yeah, this will be the one that I keep long term, much like my 52 reissue Telecaster and much like some of my other guitars which have stood the test of time. So yeah, I really feel like this thing will be on the channel for a very long time. Now, I might buy guitars to review and then flip them after the fact, but overall this will be something that I'm going to keep, I'm going to gig with, I'm hopefully going to write some songs with it, release some tunes, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, just go out and play, because that's what it's all about. I'm not a big believer in just buying a guitar, hanging it on the wall, and forgetting about it for a year. I actually like to use my instruments, which is why I just wanted to get this. Now, for those who might have missed my last video as well, I have a Vola Strat, which is a bit more of a modern take on the classic. So I wanted something that was very reminiscent of the classic design 3 single coil pickups, and then I can play the Vola, which has the humbucker in the bridge. It has a really beautiful fat neck, which is slightly fatter than this actually. It's a fatter neck than this one, and it feels just as good to play. So between both of these, I'm done. I'm not going to go out and buy or replace either of those two, this included, obviously, that or the Vola, because this is the guitar as a lefty I've been looking for a very long time, and it's taken me years to find one that I really feel like, you know what, this could be the one. And I'm wrapped. It comes in a beautiful case. Actually, I'll show you that right now. In true Fender fashion, they've given us a Tweed case, which the cat absolutely loves. The cats love to scratch these Tweed cases. It is what it is. But you get a really great looking deluxe plush case for this thing. Now, when I gig, I actually won't be taking this case out with me. I'll be taking either a gig bag, or I've also got a molded flight case style hard case, which I really love, and it's nice and light. This one, the guitar will probably sit in here while it's at home, but yeah, it's great having such a great quality case with it as well. I'm gonna have to start labeling these now. I've got 3 guitars that all have this exact same case, at least externally. Internally, they're a little bit different, but just a beautiful instrument. So to take things out, I'll show you another intro track, and for this one, I'm gonna do both rhythm parts dead clean and play a little lead with a bit of dirt delay and some reverb. Thanks for watching. Let's get into it.